Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, namaste, salam alaikum. Welcome to Questpond's YouTube channel. And what are we learning today? Today we will be discussing about a very controversial C# interview question. It's controversial, but the answer is very simple, but also it has its own twist and turns, right? So this C# interview question goes something like this. In a parent-child relationship, so if you have a parent-child relationship, which constructor will fire first? So for example, you can see that we have a class human here. So from class human, we have class man and class woman who are inheriting. So if the woman has a constructor here, so which will fire first? So let us say if I create an instance of a woman object here, will the human constructor fire first or will the woman constructor fire first, right? So I repeat the question. In a parent-child relationship, how is the execution order of the constructor, right? And before I start here, I would like to just inform you, please go ahead and visit questpond.com where I've recorded hordes and hordes of interview questions. So we have C# interview questions, then we have Angular interview questions, then we have ASP.NET interview questions, and then we have MSBI and SQL Server. So it keeps going on. So I would suggest please go ahead and visit questpond.com and enjoy these videos, right? My first suggestion is do not try to memorize it or do not try to by heart it. By heart. Yes. By heart, that word is very harsh I'm using here, but that's the bitter truth what candidates do in C# interviews. When you by heart something, there are big pauses in the interview. You keep glaring for seconds looking at the top wall. You cannot confidently counter cross questions and so on. And obviously, this sends a very, very bad message to the interviewer. So do not try to memorize things. Try to think logically, understand things, clear your concept so that you can handle the situation better in the interview. So let's try to think logically here. So you can see that we have a class human here, and from this class human, a man is inheriting and a woman is inheriting, right? So if I create an instance of a woman object or if I create an instance of a man object, right? Obviously, the first thing is the human object has to get created, right? The parent has to get instantiated, isn't it? On the base of the parent, the child will stand. So it is very logical that first, the parent constructor should fire first, right? First, the human object should get instantiated, and on that base, the man or a woman object should get instantiated, right? So definitely, in a parent-child relationship, if you have constructor in the parent and the child, logically, the parent constructor should fire first. And that's what exactly happens. So if I put a debug point here, and let us say if I put a debug point here, right? So you can see here I'm instantiating the woman object here, right? So what happens now when I run this, you will see that the first thing is it will run the constructor of the parent. So there it is. It goes here. You can see now, first it is running the constructor of the parent. You can see console.writeLine human is getting executed. And after that, the child constructor fires, right? So when it comes to constructor, first the parent constructor fires and then the child constructor fires. So just try to remember logically. First, the parent has to get instantiated and on that base, the child has to get instantiated. But now coming to the twist part. There are some naughty interviewers. They don't stop, right? They don't stop. So these naughty interviewers, can cross question you. What about the initializers? Initializers means what if you have member level variables like this? You can see in the class human, I have put public int I equal to 0. And in case of class woman, I have put public int I1 equal to 0. So what about the initializers? Now the initializers are a little bit different. Initializers, if you see it, I'm going to go and run this. Let us watch. So first what happens is the child initializers run. Look at this. The child initializer runs first. So the child initializer runs. Then the parent initializers run. You can see now the parent initializers are running. Then the parent constructor runs. And then the child constructor runs, right? So When it comes to constructor, it is always first the parent and then the child. When it comes to initializers, it is always first the child and then the parent, right? So the whole sequence is like this. First, the child initializer will fire, then the parent initializer will fire, then the parent constructor code will fire, and then the child constructor code will fire. So let us summarize. The initializers go in the opposite direction. The initializers first fire from the child and then the parent. While when it comes to the constructor code, they go in a logical sequence. First, the parent constructor code fires and then the child, right? Now you'd say that, okay, Shiv, double standard caught you. You said that start thinking logically. So you said that, okay, like first the parent gets created and on the top of it, the child instance gets created. And now why are the initializers running in the opposite direction, right? So I will leave that as an homework, go ahead, Google it. Why do the initializers fire in an opposite logical sequence, right? I will give you a hint here. What if the parent goes and tries to call the child objects, and what if those objects are read only? So I'm giving an indication also that why the initializers fire in the opposite direction, right? And very, very quickly before I end the session, if you go ahead and if you share this video on your LinkedIn or on your Facebook or on your Twitter, you would get a free interview question PDF, a free Csharp interview question PDF. So go ahead and share this video. Happy job hunting, happy learning. Thank you.